Hello and welcome to the real world. This is the Reelies, our third annual Reelies Award Show where we talk about all the best movies of the year.
Yes,
So
we did it. We made it.
You're here. We're really excited. And Bert, of course, is joining us. How you doing, man?
Hey guys, good to see you.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. Bert put in a lot of work.
Have we ever had all three of us on a video call like this
I
before?
feel like we have. I think we've done a couple podcasts
Yeah, we might have.
together,
We might
haven't
have. I don't know. It's
Not
just,
very many.
It's great to see you, Bert. We've talked before,
Yeah,
but
likewise.
to be on an episode, it's just great.
Yeah, this is
It's a
a
thrill
lot of
just to
fun.
have you over our speakerphone.
Yeah, we're really excited to talk about all these movies. A lot of people put in a lot of hard work, a lot of friends and family members put together these presentations. So we want to get right to it.
Yes.
We've got a lot of awards to cover. So we are happy to present to you the very first award. It is the award for Best Physical Media Release with Josh.
For films to live on after they're released in theaters, studios release physical copies for fans to enjoy the movies they love most from the comfort of their own home. From Betamax to VHS to Laserdisc to DVD to Blu-ray and now 4K, these formats are important for the preservation of film. Many movies are experienced for the first time at home, and these physical copies are by far the best way to experience the art of cinema when it isn't available for viewing at the local Cineplex. Here are the nominees for Best Physical Release of 2024. Avatar: The Way of Water, 4K Collector's Edition. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, 4K. Dragon Slayer, 4K Steelbook. Fast X, 4K Walmart exclusive Digipack. Dragonheart, 4K by Shout Factory. And the really goes to Avatar: The Way of Water 4K Collector's Edition.
Thank you to Josh for presenting the Best Physical Release, our new award this year. Really excited about that. Now we are moving on to subscriber, friend of the channel, Gracie, presenting Best Writing.
Every movie starts with a script. The writers of these scripts tend to be the most creative, as they must convey their ideas through the written word. The story, dialogue, and themes of the film are produced by these individuals, and here are the nominees for Best Writing.
Juror Number 2, Nosferatu, Dune Part 2, Speak No Evil, and Civil War.
And the winner is Juror Number 2. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Gracie, for helping us out with that. Next up, one of my co-hosts on the podcast, Bert, with Best Casting.
A casting director must sit through hours of auditions to find the right actor for the right role. From the main characters to the background extras, these individuals make these big screen heroes and villains unforgettable. The casting process is often... Actually, you know what? Bring it in here. What's interesting is that here I am presenting this award for Best Casting, but the truth is that Cam had already cast someone to do the presenting, but they were awful from what I understand. It's what I heard. They were fired, and so then I was cast at the last second. Thanks, Cam, for the paycheck. But what irony then that now I'm presenting the award for Best Casting, and the nominees are Alien Romulus, The Complete Unknown, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Unsung Hero, and the really goes to Unsung Hero.
Thank you, Bert. Now we are moving right along to the Best Stunts category with my brother, Caden, with a little bit of help from my other brother, Callan.
Most of the movies we watch involve stunts. Big blockbusters we watch rely heavily on these individuals who perform these death defying stunts. These are the unsung heroes of the film industry. Here are the nominees for Best Stunts. Dune Part 2. The Fall Guy. Furiosa Mad Max Saga. Monkey Man. Deadpool and Wolverine. And the really goes to The Fall Guy. Congratulations.
Thank you, Caden and Callan, for presenting Best Stunts. Coming back to present for Best Cinematography this time is good friend of the channel, Josh.
Films communicate their stories primarily through the power of picture. Cinematographers light the set and use the camera to tell a tale with the lens. The best of these artists are innovative and intentional with the camera work, using their photography as the essential element of the filmmaking process. Here are the nominees for Best Cinematography. Dune Part 2. Furiosa, the Mad Max Saga. Here. Monkey Man. Nosferatu. And the really goes to Nosferatu. Congratulations.
Now for Best Production Design, presented by Luke. Take it away.
The overall look and feel of a film is created by the production designer. This person is responsible for giving us a sense of time period, setting, and even the internal feelings of the characters. Here are the nominees for Best Production Design. Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Here. Nosferatu. Alien Romulus. Beetlejuice. And the really goes to Nosferatu. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Luke, for helping us out with presenting. Now we are moving along to Best Makeup, Hairstyling, and Costumes, presented by our friend Jordan.
You can tell a lot about a person by how they look, and this department helps bring the characters to life. These artists bring us the best of the movie. Here are the nominees for the Best Makeup, Hairstyling, and Costumes. Dune Part 2. Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Here. Nosferatu. The Substance. And the really goes to The Substance. Congratulations, the really.
Thank you so much for your help, Jordan. We really appreciate it. Now we're moving on to another category, Best Effects, presented by our friend CJ.
Effects have been a part of movies since the beginning of the art. Now they're a bigger part of filmmaking than ever before. These artists help create new worlds and make the wildest dreams of the directors and writers a reality. Here are the nominees for Best Effects. Alien Romulus. Dune Part 2. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Here. And Nosferatu. Now drum roll. And the really goes to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Thank you, CJ, so much for helping us out with that presentation. Now we are moving along to Best Sound, presenting once again our good friend Bert.
Thanks, Cam. So I've just been sitting here and we are trying to actually recreate the very memorable sound effect from Nosferatu. It's one of the most effective, if not grossest, sound effects ever in film. She hasn't seen the movie. But if you have seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so, I don't know, what do you got here? Let's see if you can do it. Oh, that's pretty good. Let me give it a shot. Okay, your turn. One more. Give me one really good one. Are you gonna swallow it? Okay. Make this one really good. I'm gonna try one more. That was really gross. Yeah. So those were our efforts, but we'll leave the recording to the experts. Back to business. The sound department has the difficult task of creating and recreating sounds to immerse you in the world of the film. This is an important element that can help put you into the shoes of the characters.
Here are the nominees for Best Sound. Doom Part 2, Furiosa, A Quiet Place Day 1, The Substance, Nosferatu, and the really goes to Nosferatu.
Next up is the category of Best Music, presented by yours truly. Nothing enhances the emotion of a film more than music to convey the sadness or joy or terror of a scene. Filmmakers utilize the music to make the audience feel something. Here are the nominees for Best Music. Monkey Man. Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2!
Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. A complete unknown. And it really goes to Monkey Man. Next up, my co-host and brother Carson is presenting Best Editing.
Editing, what together holds a movie are of utmost these filmmakers' importance can be ruined by bad editing. Because even a good movie can be ruined by editing. Easy and the nuances, pacing, thus making the story these artists must understand of character can be ruined by editing. To follow editing. Here are the nominees for Best. The Dead Don't Hurt, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, Here, Hundreds of Beavers, Saturday Night, and the really goes to Here. What?
Next up, I want you to guess who's going to present Best Voice Acting. The performances by voice actors have gone overlooked for far too long. Here are the nominees for Best Voice Acting. Brian Cox in The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Brian Tyree Henry in Transformers 1. Anthony Hopkins in Rebel Moon Chapter 2, Curse of Forgiveness. Kensington Talkman in Inside Out 2. Lupita Nyong'o in The Wild Robot. And the really goes to Brian Cox in The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Congratulations! You've won your first Reelie! The next category is Best Acting.
All right, we're rolling.
Rolling. Ready?
Wyatt on the set.
It's just us. We're the
Wyatt on the set.
Okay.
You know your motivation?
Okay.
You're supposed to have it memorized. I thought you're professional. Action.
Acting is an art form few can pull off.
Cut! Who is this guy? Who hired him?
You
Anybody?
did. You did. You asked for me specifically.
All right. Try it again. Faster, more intense.
Okay. Acting is an art form few can pull off, and even fewer stick in our memory as memorable. Okay, was that good?
I guess it'll do. Finish the scene. Come on.
Okay, what's the next line?
Killing me.
I didn't have time in my trailer.
Time is money.
These actors disappear into their characters in such a way that we felt they had to be recognized for their contributions to cinema. Here are the nominees for Greatest Acting. Nicholas Hoult in Juror Number 2. David Johnson in Alien Romulus. Demi Moore for The Substance. Timothée Chalamet in Dune Part 2. Oh, sorry, it's for a complete unknown. He was in like 10 movies this year.
I wish I was working with him right now.
Timothée Chalamet for a complete... dang it, I wrecked it. Okay, I'm ready.
You wrecked the whole scene. Start from the top.
Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. Anya Taylor-Joy and Furiosa, A Mad Max Saga. Okay, sorry, that was it. That's the complete list of nominees.
Yeah, that's it.
You're giving me no direction here!
Yeah, just say the line.
Okay. And the award goes to...
No, the really goes to...
Oh, dang it. And the really goes to David Johnson for Alien Romulus. Congratulations, Andy the Android.
Cut! Alright, can we take lunch now?
Okay, let's take
lunchtime.
This is a wreck.
Moving right along to Best Direction.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I can't handle it, okay? You try it. Come on,
Okay,
come on.
I can do this.
Let's do
No
it.
problem.
Let's have you talk about Best Directors.
This is easy. This is easy.
Good grief. I can shout orders at you
Yeah.
like a dog.
I bet you can. You got my shot
Stage
lined up
left.
right?
You look fine.
Alright.
Look at the camera, not into the camera.
Alright, well yell action, Mr. Director.
Okay,
man.
action, do it. Give us Best Directors. Give us your spiel. You wrote this. Writer-director.
The director must communicate his vision to the cast and crew to inspire them as they help him bring his vision to life on screen.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
These directors pulled that off and created art we consider to be masterpieces. Here are the nominees for Best Direction. George Miller for Furiosa, A Mad Max Saga. Clint Eastwood for Juror Number 2. Coralie Farja for The Substance. Robert Eggers for Nosferatu. Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. And the really goes to Clint Eastwood for Juror Number 2.
Yes!
Congratulations.
Way to go, Mr. Eastwood.
He's a legend.
He's a legend, folks.
This is it, folks. Best Film, our final category, voted on by you. Here it is. Carson, take it away.
Thousands of films are produced every year. Between the three of us hosts here at the Real World Podcast, we saw nearly 100 films in 2024. These 10 nominees represent the best that cinema has to offer in the year 2024. We included a wide array of different films this year. As always, we left our winner up to you, the audience. So thank you for voting. Here are your nominees for Best Film of 2024. Alien Romulus. Bonhoeffer. Dune Part 2. Furiosa, A Mad Max Saga. Here. Juror Number 2. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Nosferatu. The Substance. Unsung Hero. And the really goes to Dune Part 2. Thank you so much for watching and voting.
All right, folks, that is it. The big award has been given out. Best Film of the Year. Congratulations, Dune Part 2.
Yes.
What a great movie.
Well earned. Well earned.
We enjoyed that in the theater.
This got the
We've
most,
enjoyed it now on 4K many
Yes.
times.
Yeah,
So
the physical release is great.
Yep.
We got Dune Part 2 got the most votes.
Absolutely. Selected by our subscribers.
That's right.
I mean, that's why we wanted to put it into your hands. We put polls out on Facebook and YouTube and all of it. So thank you for voting.
Yeah, well deserved. Dune Part 2, what an amazing film.
Yeah.
One that I think will stand the test of time.
For sure.
Much like it's what do you call a movie that's not the sequel but the original movie?
Predecessor. Yeah, it's original. It's the original Dune. Well, it's not the original Dune because David Lynch had the original Dune. But
Sure.
Dune Part 1 will come.
Yes. The point is both films are timeless.
Exactly.
And Dune Part 2, I think, managed to step up in terms of quality, scope, scale, the performances, the emotion of the film. Everything is strengthened, I think, in the sequel. And just what a phenomenal film.
Yeah, great movie, great sequel, and looking forward to the third film, which he's already working on,
Dune Messiah,
which I'm excited about. So,
wow.
Any thoughts, Bert, on this year's nominees, the kind of overall feeling for movies in 2024?
Well, so I look back, I watched 33 movies so far, that were from 2024. It was a good year. I did feel like it was not quite as good as 2023. I always like to compare,
Sure. Of course.
For instance, the number 10 film of the year for me was Nosferatu, which I liked a lot of the elements of it.
Mm-hmm.
But first viewing, I gave it 3 stars. I feel like it could go up from there because there were a lot of interesting things in it.
Right.
But so for my number 10 film to only get 3 stars, and then beyond that, my films number 11 through 20 were all 3 stars. So I feel like there was a lot of mediocrity in some ways this year, like good films, but not so many great ones. Last year, 7 of my top 10 were 4.5 stars.
Oh wow!
And and then worse, there were a lot of bad sequels this year.
There were a lot of sequels this year in general.
There were a lot. Yeah, and you guys liked a few of these, I think, but I didn't like Twisters. Rebel Moon 2 was okay. Gladiator 2 it was just okay. Quiet Place 3 I just didn't like. Beetlejuice 2 I didn't like. Ghostbusters 5 or something like that. I just didn't like. And in 2023 I liked most of the sequels. I went back and noticed that most of them I had liked quite a bit.
Yeah.
But we did have some, good if not great sequels too. Like obviously Dune, a really great one. Alien, Furiosa.
Yep.
And then you guys didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine, but I sure did quite a lot. So it's a lot good. Some of my tops for the year, obviously Unsung Hero I thought was the best film just because of the emotional impact, I think, and what they achieved. Deadpool and Wolverine was just a sort of a wild roller coaster ride for me. The Substance, I started at 4 stars, went up to 4.5. It's just it's such an interesting film.
Yes, I just want to say for our viewers at home, our Substance representation. Sadly, Cameron and I have not seen The Substance.
It's all due to Bert.
So yes, big props to Bert for pining for horror films as kind of our blind spot in terms of genres.
Right.
Yeah, I could see a lot of people hating The Substance. It is certainly a bold film and very interesting and sort of something I haven't seen before. Also creepy at the same time. Some excellent acting, sound effects, production design. Some really great stuff there. And honestly, I can't wait to see it again. So
we always applaud originality. We always applaud any movie that stands on its own.
Right.
Like we were talking about all the sequels that have come out this year is crazy.
Yeah.
And there's been sort of an epidemic in the film industry as of late. Modern cinema has been plagued with remakes and sequels and reboots. So seeing some original movies, even though of course we gave Dune Part 2 the win, it won it despite itself being a sequel.
Right.
It won it because of the merits of the film.
Yeah.
It's just that good.
It's more of a part 2 anyway, as opposed to pulling something out after 20 years, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't.
Right.
I'm always skeptical going into those, but I have been pleasantly surprised, at times. And then another really great one was Alien. Just what a way to reinvent the franchise. So happy that happened. It's actually my favorite Alien film, And I'm not trying to be like a prisoner of the moment, but I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you, I like all the Alien films for the most part. I own a few of them, but I like that one far and away the best. I mean, it was just so inventive, and I thought, here goes another sequel that's going to be just the same old thing, and it certainly was not.
I've got to agree with you, Bert. I mean, I have only ever seen the first and second Alien movies. There's so much ill will toward all the other sequels, but Romulus really surprised me and impressed me in a way I really wasn't expecting. It harkened back, I think, to the Blade Runner 2049 movie. It kind of had that same very tactile, and in the same way also as Dune Part 2 has, that kind of tactile sci-fi that really just was awesome to see.
Yep.
And of course, Andy. We love Andy.
Best performance of the year. He won.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, well deserved. I mean, because I think Carson, you mentioned is that now maybe the best android or a robot performance ever?
Absolutely.
And I think maybe. I
think so. It's my personal favorite android performance I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just because of the nuances I think he gets to do in that movie. Yeah. He gets to be the cold, calculated machine.
Right.
And the more like almost Star Wars droid, personable, likable, cartoonish character. Yeah. So it's such a great and interesting balance. And just some of the decisions that he makes as an actor to whenever he shuts down, not to go limp like a person would, but to go stiff like a machine. It's just great. I love it. So many little decisions in that movie, just terrific.
Yeah. So great. So overall, a little disappointing from so far from what I've seen of 2024. Obviously, quite a few more that I want to watch. Some of your favorites I did not get to see yet because they're just now hitting streaming, and I didn't catch them in the theater. But it was still a good year. Quite a few that I certainly enjoyed.
Yeah, this is why we champion physical releases. And
that's my favorite new category we added.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was, I think, a great addition to our award ceremony. But there are movies that came out in 2023 that I've just seen, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this movie was so good. This would have been my top 3.
Right.
So
right.
lists like these with the grains of salt.
Yes.
We haven't seen every movie that came out 2024. These were just the ones that left the most impact on us coming out of the theater.
Right. Carson, do you want to go over some of your favorite moments, favorite movies of 2024?
I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of movies I had low expectations for. I was expecting Joker 2, Filet-O-Deux, to be terrible. I wasn't a big fan of the first Joker movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. I think it was the theatrical experience. I got to watch it with a group of friends. And we were all kind of into it and just kind of having fun with it. We weren't taking it very seriously. And I think that's what lent itself well to that experience.
Okay.
So that was one that stuck out as being memorable. I got a last minute movie in just before we were able to do our whole list. It was Saturday night. I watched it. It had just dropped it on Netflix. And
I did see that finally, by the way.
Great. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's obviously frenetic and it feels very realistic.
Right.
But what struck me was just like you were talking about, Cameron, the casting is so intriguing to me. I wish the rest of the film maybe gave me more of like an ultra entertainment kind of value, but I felt like it was more just sort of like a science project, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So I enjoyed it. I didn't get up in 4 or 5 star territory, but it was fascinating in a lot of senses.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad to see that they're not resurrecting old and dead actors with CGI.
That
they decided to recast all of these people.
Or de-age some of these guys or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just very fun. That movie is full of fun surprises and just like you said, it has a very frantic energy that just really kept me engaged the whole time.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
What about you, Cam?
So a couple I wanted to mention are a movie called Hundreds of Beavers.
Yes.
This movie is one of the most unique films I've seen in years. It's basically a silent film, and it's a slapstick comedy. So it's kind of harkening back to Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton and these guys. But it's done in such a unique way. I was just glued to the screen. I was cracking up the whole time. I thought it was fantastic. I was shocked that it sustained my attention for as long as it did. It was just really, really fun. A really fun watch. A great group watch too. So I had to mention that one. I've got to mention Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim.
Yes.
To me, I was just really excited about that movie because it was, obviously doing Lord of the Rings as it's never been done in an anime form.
For sure.
And I think they nailed it. I think it really worked. The story worked, the characters worked. It felt totally like it was in the world that Peter Jackson created with his films.
Yeah, I totally agree. And with all of the sequels and remakes and reboots and cinematic universes that exist, I think this is the way forward.
Yeah, get creative.
Do something totally different.
Like with Alien. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, that one definitely stood out. I'm a huge Western fan. I really liked Horizon, Kevin Costner's big 3-hour epic. I also really liked The Dead Don't Hurt with Viggo Mortensen. He directed and starred in that film. Definitely went under the radar, a small independent film, but it was in my top 5. I think it's a really well told story. And so I really like that as well. I'm a musician, so A Complete Unknown was a huge, huge thing for me. I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan. Timothy Chalamet nailed it. I was just blown away by his performance and all the performances in the movie, really, and the way they recreated that whole kind of 60s folk scene. But my number one was Juror Number 2. That was my favorite film of the year.
Yep. This one got really close to winning.
Wow, what a great movie, great story. Clint Eastwood still at the top of his game at 90-something years old.
Yes.
The cast is great. Toni Collette and Nicholas Hoult and everybody in that just did such a good job telling a story that really stayed with me. It was one movie that I was thinking about afterwards a lot. Weeks afterwards, I'm still thinking, oh man, what would I do in that situation? That kind of stuff. So,
it really makes you think.
Yeah, exactly. And I love movies like that. So, I was a big fan of a lot of movies this year. I saw more than you guys. I saw 65 films. So I saw quite a few last year. I thought it was a pretty solid year. There were certainly the misses, as there always are. But there were quite a few that I really liked and a few that I've added to my collection. So, I really, really thought there were definitely some good ones.
Yeah, let me just say, thank you to both of you and to all of our fans for all of this.
Yeah.
There are so many movies I would never have seen if not for this.
Yeah.
So many things I would have totally missed out on that I love. Thank you to our audience for watching.
Yep.
We've reached 500.
Over 600 now.
Over 600 now. It's crazy. We're growing every year.
Yeah.
We just really appreciate all of the time that Cameron, you've put into this.
Sure.
And all the energy that we've been able to contribute together, all of our collaborations and ideas coming together, and just growing in our appreciation for this art form that's so unique to America. This is Americans' contribution to the art scene in the world.
Right.
This is our favorite art form. So we really just want to take this time to celebrate, give thanks.
Right.
We're really blessed to live in times like these, when we can see these great pieces of art.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to thank both of you. I want to thank all the guests that we've had on the podcast, Anthony and Ben and Josh, all those who put together presentations. Again, we want to thank you so much for helping us out with that. Any closing thoughts, guys?
Not necessarily. I think you pretty much hit it. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Appreciate all your efforts. Yeah, it's been it was a fun year.
It was
absolutely.
Looking forward to 2025.
Absolutely. 2025 looks to be really exciting.
Any really highly anticipated movies you guys want to rattle off for 2025? I have to talk about Superman, James Gunn's Superman. I am stoked for this movie. I cannot wait.
Trailer looks good. Yeah.
I love James Gunn as a filmmaker. I've loved all of his movies. I love what he's doing with DC. I was a big fan of the Suicide Squad. Obviously, his work with Guardians of the Galaxy is great. His Peacemaker show I also really enjoyed. So seeing him kind of take a more cartoonish, comic booky angle to this new version of the DC universe, I'm very excited for.
Right. Yeah, me too. Bert, anything specific you're looking forward to this year?
The Karate Kid movie for sure. The mashup with Jackie Chan. I miss Jackie Chan action movies. I don't know.
Me too. Yes.
And then I'll just put it out there. One that already came out is already a 4.5-star film that I've seen, which is The Gorge. I strongly recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So excellent. Yeah. Already watched it twice, and one of those that I just can't wait to watch again.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Well, for me, it's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I mean, this
sure.
franchise
Yeah.
has been one of my favorites of the past, 2 decades, plus 3 decades now going on. Really excited to see how they kind of supposedly close the story on the character, Ethan Hunt.
Hey, he's got long hair in the trailer. You know what they say about Mission Impossible? Short hair bad, long hair good.
Hey, MI2. MI2.
MI2, I think is great. I love MI2.
You do? Oh,
Yes.
wow. Yeah, it is great.
I'm not there with you yet. Maybe I'll get there one day. But yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to that. There's so many that are coming out this year. Fantastic Four, I think, looks great as well from Marvel. So yeah, really interested to see what ends up happening this year in cinema. Find the surprises. We always find movies that we're not expecting to be great, but they end up being good, or movies we haven't even heard of at the beginning of the year that end up coming out later and are really great. So very much looking forward to it. Thank you both so much again. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we'll see you next time right here
on The Real World.